Okay, so we've seen that the typical cations are formed from metallic elements, from atoms of metallic elements. The anions, the negative ions, are typically formed, the monatomic ones are typically formed from non-metallic elements. Okay, so primarily the most common ones you'll encounter are the anions that you get are the ones from group 5A, 6A, and 7A. Okay, and again, you'll see a pattern here. Typically, the ones from group 7A. Okay, I think I got these reversed. Okay, this should be -3, -2, and -1. Okay, so from 7A would have a -1 charge. Okay, so fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetylene, those iodine, those atoms, if they form ions, they have a tendency to become negatively charged and acquire a -1 charge. Okay, the chalcogens, group 6A, have a tendency to form negative ions with a charge of -2. So oxygen ion, if you form a negative ion from oxygen, you get a -2 charge. All right, and the nitrogen and phosphorus are the ones that you get from group 5A. Okay, so these are the most common atoms that give you monatomic anions. So nitrogen, for example, would have a charge of -3. Okay, so it belongs to group 5A. Now, fluorine becomes F with a -1 charge, right? And one thing you'll need to know is that when atoms become negative ions, okay, they gain an electron, the name changes. So the ending of the name changes to IDE. So the atom fluorine, if it becomes F minus, is no longer called fluorine, it's now called fluoride. Oxygen, if it becomes, it's called oxide. And oxide would be OXO with a -2 charge. Nitrogen becomes nitride, and it's going to have a -3 charge. What about chlorine? What happens to it? Chloride, which will have a charge of -1. Okay, so in general, the halogens, okay, they become halides or halides, okay, when they acquire a negative charge. So let's see if we can apply that information now. Bromide, what would be the monatomic ion that you get? Is it going to be positive or negative? Non-metals, negative, -1. This, remember, the halogens become halides which have a -1 charge. What would be this? So that's bromide. What about nitride? Nitrogen with a -3 charge. Sulfide, S, sulfide with a -2. Chloride is -1, and iodide, I, -1.